Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a sold-out Extreme Arena at Iowa Volleyball. As tonight, the Iowa Hawkeyes play host to the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Last week, Iowa was in Nebraska. Nebraska celebrated their 300th consecutive sellout. Pretty impressive number, probably more accurate and more applicable than their football team sellout. But a pretty good testament to fans. Tonight, Iowa starts their own sellout streak. It's number one here, and kind of what Coach Jim Barnes is trying to build as the Hawkeyes take on the 6th-ranked Cornhuskers. Iowa on a winning streak, took down Rutgers last Sunday in straight sets on senior afternoon, as the Hawkeyes played well, kept their game together, withstood some runs from Rutgers, won 25-21, 25-17, and 25-22 to complete the sweep. And tonight we'll test the new configuration here as the court was shifted down from last year. So we'll kind of have most of this bowl filled. It won't be, there's still a bigger opportunity here as we get going. But for now, that's where we are. And so we'll get filled up. I did have a chance to talk to Coach Barnes. We'll get on with him. Reagan Coyle will be joining me for the match. She was battling traffic as she came through there and had to work her way through there. So it's she was gonna join me now, but she's not hooked up. So we'll wait for Coach Barnes' interview so I can get that played. But a good group. Again, Nebraska coming off a 4-set loss at Ohio State. Nebraska swept the Hawkeyes last Friday night in Lincoln, as Nebraska's 22-3 overall, 14-2 in conference. The 6th-ranked team in the country. They're actually tied for third place, or they're in third place in the Big Ten. They're behind number 3 Wisconsin and number 5 Ohio State. Just 2 Big Ten weekends left. Iowa has tonight's match against the Cornhuskers, then we'll travel to Illinois on Sunday before finishing the home schedule Wednesday night against Michigan, and then traveling after Thanksgiving to Michigan State to finish up the season on Saturday. So just 4 matches left for the Hawkeyes. Talked to Coach Barnes a little bit about how he wants to finish the season, kind of what he wants to see, what he hopes for with the build. The record hasn't been quite what he wanted. Hawks are 8-19 on the season, 2-14 in the Big Ten. Have taken a lot of sets and been close, but unfortunately, there's not a category or a line for moral victories, and so you got to figure out how to get those wins. Again, tonight's sellout, as you'll hear Coach Barnes say, this it got his team's attention. They had 2 days off this week. Coming off the Sunday match, they had Monday and Tuesday off, came back into the gym on Wednesday, had their attention grabbed when they figured out there's a sellout. This is a big deal, and so the team will be focused. Jim said he had the good practice. They were sharp and paying attention and ready to go. And so again, Nebraska, the number one opponent hitting percentage team in the country, and they don't just do it with blocks. They do it with just a fantastic floor defense and an all-around game in the backcourt as well. So they get a good block put up, they get a lot of touches, they get their fair share of blocks, and then they also turn that into opportunity to run right back and run offense at the other team. So Hawks will be sharp, be smart, as there have been times where maybe Iowa spent a little too much time hitting into the block, so they'll have to be, as Reagan and I have talked about, dig into that toolbox just a little bit and be active with different types of shots. Setters will have to move the ball around and get them into different places so that the Hawkeyes can be ready. So kind of just a little preview. Again, we've got 4.5 minutes with Coach Barnes, so we'll have that interview. When we come back, it'll probably be either right at the end of the national anthem or right at the national anthem might still be going. So if it's still be going, you'll hear that when we come back. Otherwise, we'll come back right as starting lineups begin. So get this pulled up. Here's Coach Barnes.
How
All right. Welcome back to Extreme Arena. I'm John Evans alongside Reagan Coyle. I think we've got the sounds back up. We're getting starting lineups for Nebraska listed here. First and most importantly, welcome Reagan.
Thank you.
How are you tonight?
Doing well. Happy to be back.
You said the battle of traffic coming in. That's the one downside to Extreme Arena is there's two ways in, and that's it.
Yes. Yeah, and not many places to park, or just one, really.
And it's we've turned it into 20 degrees today as winters hit us in full smack today. I was trying to think the last time Iowa had success against Nebraska was 2019. That was the year after you graduated.
Yes, they took them to 5, I believe.
Over in Lincoln, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the match there, and I was trying to remember. But, yeah, Courtney Bizzario had the triple-double. And
yes.
That was a heck of a match with Iowa. I'm not even sure she was a backup setter at that point. She was a backup DS at that point.
Yeah.
Stepped in and did a fantastic job setting in Lincoln with 86 or 8,700 people, however many they have. And
yes.
Iowa gave them a heck of a run, but couldn't quite pull it off. It might be that tall of a task tonight, too, with, again, 6th-ranked Wisconsin. They're red. 6th-ranked Nebraska, as Iowa looks to, as I was talking to Coach Barnes and it played in the interview, really just trying to find some momentum, kind of keep, they called it sprinting through the finish line, keeping that almost the character check of who you are at this point.
Exactly.
So they haven't updated the stats yet. I didn't catch all of the Nebraska starters. Sydney Dennis, the first one announced for the Hawkeyes, as we'll get through the starting lineups presented by Quickstar. There's a lot of red here, but there's a good crowd. It's a blackout afternoon or blackout evening, and I have to admit it's better than I anticipated from a ratio standpoint.
Yeah, there's quite a few black and gold out there.
Good crowd turned out here, obviously, and be one of the larger crowds the Hawks will have played in front of this year. And so I talked a little bit in the pregame. Nebraska's the number 1 team in the country in opponents' hitting percentage. Opponents hitting just in the 120s against them.
Sure.
You and I have talked a little bit in a couple matches we've done about needing to dig into that toolbox. So as a hitter, hopefully you don't come in just, oh gosh, I can't do anything. What's kind of the mindset or the game plan of, okay, how do I attack somebody that I know they put up a pretty good block and their back row's good? How do you attack that?
I think you have to go in with a mindset of being a smart hitter versus being I'm going to, swing away at every single ball type of hitter. They have a great block. That obviously speaks to their opponent's hitting percentage. But I think, like you said, you have to dig into that toolbox a little bit and see the block, be smart, and hit around the block, hit over the block, pull out those tips. So that way when the block goes up, they're not really sure what you're going to do.
I know Coach Barnes talked about, too, it's been a very middle-heavy offense, but today maybe having to be a little bit more balanced, spread the ball around, kind of those quick sets over the middle's head so that the block can't get set up a little bit more.
Exactly, yeah. Hold the Nebraska middle kind of in place. Make them think about your middle for just a split second, and then you create a one-on-one opportunity for those pin hitters.
The Quickstar starting lineups, Nicklin Hames, Becca Alec, Lexi Rodriguez is the libero for Nebraska, Maddie Kubik, Whitney Launstein, Allie Battenhorst, and Caitlin Horde for your Hawkeyes. Sydney Dennis, Toyosi Anabanjo, Delaney McSweeney, Lily Tessier, Amaya Jones, Michelle Urquhart, and the libero Mari Hinkle. As appropriate for the blackout, Hawks are wearing their black uniforms tonight. Mari's in gold. Nebraska's in red. Lexi Rodriguez is in the black uniform, so she got the memo about the blackout. Works out good. Glad she
1 out of 6.
Glad she wanted to participate. Appreciate that. I mentioned Iowa travels to Illinois on Sunday and then has the big finish Thanksgiving week with Michigan here and then Michigan State on the road. So a lot of activity still coming up. Nebraska will probably be one of the teams that host the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. And Nicklin Hames will be back to serve for Nebraska to get us started. Kind of got away from Iowa in the 3rd set over in Lincoln. It'll be important to kind of limit those runs. Obviously, Nebraska's going to have them. You just have to find a way to stop them at some point. Hames goes at Mari Hinkle, drops in front of her, ace serve.
Get those first point jitters out of the way.
Probably not the start you're looking for if you're the Hawks. Hames comes up again, goes at Dennis, good pass Tessier, middle for McSweeney. No touch called.
I heard a touch on with my headset on.
We're going to challenge that. He doesn't have a green card. So 2nd point of the game, we get a challenge right off the bat.
A little bit of a game changer, getting to keep your challenges and being able to challenge something so early and, you know, being positive about getting the point and knowing you can keep your challenge to use later on too.
As we've talked about now with the challenge rules, each team gets 2 challenges. If you win the challenge, you keep it. If you don't win the challenge, you lose it. So obviously a pretty big deal here, 2 points in. So, and that happened. That was Sunday, wasn't it? Also, we had a kind of a fairly quick challenge and seemed fairly obvious on the block, and was the fastest reversal in the history of reversals. So
that was quick.
We're a little slower on this one already, but Coach Barnes will hope for the same.
When I played, you couldn't keep your challenge.
Right.
So it would be pointless to kind of use your challenges early in a game. If that was called, you'd have to kind of brush it off.
I remember there was a match, and it might have even been in Nebraska, where Bond ended up having to go through the 3 challenges very early and rattled them all off. And he was right every time he did it.
Yeah.
But to your point,
to have to use
once you did it, you were out of them.
Right.
And so it made a nice rule change that way. We have a decision. And a touch was called. So give McSweeney the kill. Give Coach Barnes his challenge back. They've got him a green card now, so he can officially do it next time. And we're tied at 1. Hinkle now back to serve for the Hawks. Goes at Kubik. Gets the ace serve.
Mari's got her serving arm warmed up again like Sunday.
Exactly. Got a wet spot on the floor. So if you're the blocker, you know most of the time if you made the touch. Is that fair?
Yeah. But I guess if nobody calls it and nobody says anything, you kind of keep to yourself until the video evidence shows otherwise.
Hinkle to serve again. Hames tips it one-handed. Horde tips it over. Tessier with the dig. Jones goes ahead and tips it over. Uses Hames. Rodriguez behind her. Big swing coming off the block and scores. Give that kill to Lonstein. And just sticking with that challenge thing for a minute, I think that's why, you know, at the international level, you'll see a lot of the players say it because those cameras are so good.
Yes.
They're going to get caught. And so they go ahead and turn it over.
Yeah.
We don't quite have that yet in the Big Ten. Kenzie knuckles in. She'll serve now. Dennis off the net. Tessier platforms the Durkart. Goes high, hits it long. Kind of that mixture between high hands and just kind of rolling it over.
Yeah, she didn't quite finish her snap there. It just sailed on her versus more of a roll.
Knuckles to serve again. Hops forward. Goes at Dennis. Better pass this time. Tessier behind her, Donna Banjo. Blocked. Covered. Hawks get it up in the air. Dennis platforms it over. Rodriguez, Hames behind her. And finds the floor from Lonstein again. Lonstein's got a left pin and a right pin kill here in the last few points. Knuckles goes at Urquhart this time, but sails long. Hawks get a little help stopping the run. Take it however you get it. 4-3, Nebraska on top. Anna Banjo back to serve. Toy hops forward. Tries to go at Kubik on the sideline. Misses. Back-to-back service errors. Ortega and Schmidt in for the Hawks. Anna Banjo and Tessier out. Rodriguez back to serve. Big Ten Freshman of the Year last year. Fires it at Dennis. Ortega to Jones. Catches to the corner. Gotta love a line judge that stays in there, takes the hit, knows it's in.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a great swing by Jones, just hitting that back corner, painting the end line there. That's a great spot.
Is that one of those things, too? Maybe it's not always trying to hit it straight down. It's trying to position those. Urquhart, good serve, drops it in the donut. Hames pushes it. Chopped out of bounds by Alec. No touch called. Nebraska wants the call. We'll see if Coach Cook has the... He decides to sit on his. We're tied at 5. Well, nope. He's going to go ahead and challenge it. We're still technically tied at 5 on the Alec hitting error. Dane and I were joking before the match about how many challenges he was going to have. I didn't expect 2 in the first 10 points.
I'm a little surprised. I feel like those are a little obvious on the block touch there. That the line judges are even missing them too. Because normally the line judges can see that pretty well.
So did you think that one was an Iowa touch as well?
Yeah, I thought it was a touch.
All right, we'll see. You were 1 for 1. We'll see how you do on that one. I like it because there's no homer in there. That was just
yeah. I didn't hear that one. I heard the first one, but I thought I saw the ball kind of change direction a little bit. But
I wasn't sure if the way she chopped at it sideways, if that was it, or if it was the block from Jones that kind of pushed it off to the side. So
since as a blocker, since you're up there as a hitter, you can kind of hear it as the hitter too. If you're pretty confident that somebody touched it, you can hear it when you're up there.
I guess that was Schmidt that was, as I looked at it, was chopped off the right side block pretty quick. So my guess is that you're right. This is going to get turned over too. It was. So give Alec the kill. 6-4 Nebraska leads. Adina's got a little smile on her face, so I think you're right. That's I'm not going to admit it, but yes, I did do it.
Yeah, I guess if the video says so.
Yeah, let's just say it doesn't surprise me. That'll put Lonstein back to serve. Goes right to Vanderwide. Schmidt goes through the block. Too hot for Lonstein to handle. Goes into the crowd. 6-5, Nebraska leads.
It's a great reverse by Ortega. You could see their middle hitter was kind of stuck on Amaya Jones, thinking she might get the ball, and Adina had a nice seam to hit through on the right side.
And Amaya Jones goes back to the service line.
Kennedy Orr in for Nebraska.
Good serve from Amaya. Orr pushes it behind her. Kubik goes through the block and scores. Now Kennedy's been switching time with Ani Jones a little bit here and there, and as Nebraska's been running the 6-2. Tried 5-1 early in the year, and of course you played with Kennedy's sister, right?
I did, yes.
Bree Orr was a darn good Hawkeye. Kubik to serve. Goes to Urquhart. Ortega outside Vanderwide. Dug by Orr. Rodriguez goes to the right side. Big swing high off the block. Urquhart. Ortega behind her. Schmidt tips. Up in the air, going to get a swing at it. Off the block. One-handed up. Hawks get it in the air. Back row from Urquhart. Good ball there. Or middle attack, tipped over. Vanderwide. Ortega doesn't get a good handle on it, though. Just caught her a little off guard. Mishandled it, makes it 8-5 Nebraska.
It was a good tip by Adina there earlier in the rally just to kind of throw a little scramble in Nebraska's offense. She's opening her toolbox.
Batenhorst got hands on it after she landed, was able to push it up in the air, but Nebraska was out of system. Kubik goes at Vanderwide. Ortega behind her to Schmidt. Has to tip again as the ball was a little low. Rodriguez. Orr's outside, tipped into the block. Right back to her. Goes through and finds the far corner. That's Batenhorst.
Tough spot to dig on the deep corner of that court there.
Yeah, that is about as far in the 5 corner as you can get. Kubik fires it over again. Urquhart off the net. Ortega outside Vanderwide. Blocked back onto the Iowa side. 4 in a row for Nebraska. It's 10-5. Coach Barnes thinking about it. Going to let his team play through it. Kubik again. Goes at Urquhart. Ortega, McSweeney. Dug by Rodriguez. Or back row, Kubik. The Hawks can't get it up in the air. Timeout Hawkeyes, 11-5 Nebraska, 5-0 scoring run here. We'll take the timeout. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball, presented by Quickstar. (11-5) Nebraska leads here in the first set. As they're on a 5-0 scoring run. Maddie Kubik at the service line. So, just the quick, easy answer. How does is it passing? Is it defense? What does Iowa do to at least stop the run and maybe start battling back on their own here?
Yeah, always starts with a good pass. I think Iowa really needs a good kill here to kind of get the momentum rolling, get everybody fired up a little bit. Just feels like they're playing a little bit flat. Just making a lot of unforced errors. So I think they need to set Adina here on the backside, get a nice open seam for her to hit through and get a big kill to get everybody fired up.
Nebraska 7 kills on 11 swings so far, no errors. Hawks just 3 swings, 3 kills on 2 errors on 12 swings. And Maddie Kubik to serve again. Goes at Urquhart. Ortega, middle to McSweeney. Misses wide, no touch, no help this time from the line judge. Tessier will check in for Schmidt. I've seen Maddie Kubik play since she was 14 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my daughter played club with her, high school volleyball, the whole thing there. Serve goes at Urquhart. Tessier, right side to McSweeney on the slide. Hits it over the block, out of bounds. Back-to-back errors for McSweeney. And I mean this as a whole compliment to Maddie. There was one of those things where you never thought, gosh, she's just that great. Because she doesn't do anything spectacular, but she does everything really, really well, above average.
Yep.
I mean, she's outstanding and gets the kill there from Vanderwide as the Hawks finally break the run. And so I mean that as a 100% compliment to her, just how good she is. And then when you look down at the stats, you're like, oh man, she has, she's 10th in the conference in kills at over 3. She's really good at the blocking. She's really good at serving.
Defense,
she gets the
passing.
digs, yeah. And so she's had an outstanding career at Nebraska. Tessier serves, ball goes outside. Blocked back onto the Nebraska side, but out of bounds. Give that kill to Batenhorst. Yeah, she and Devin Robinson were on the same club team.
Wow.
So they were pretty good. Devin, the outstanding middle for the Wisconsin Badgers. Alex serves. Bad pass from the Hawks. Ball goes over to Anabanjo. She has to just tip it over. Middle from Horde. Tips it. Dug by Tessier. Vanderwide on the outside. Dug by Kubik. Or tipped over. Uses Tessier. Hinkle behind her. Vanderwide tries to tip. Use the block. That ball's tight. Urquhart gets the dig, though. Tessier. Back row from Urquhart, but she wasn't really ready. Kubik digs it up. Or behind her. And that's Krause. Coach Barnes, quick timeout, 15-6 Nebraska. We'll go ahead and take the timeout as well. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball, presented by Quickstar. Welcome back to Hawkeye Volleyball. Tonight's match is sponsored by Green State Credit Union. With competitive pricing on loans, deposits, insurance, and investment products, Green State is proud to serve Iowans across the state. Green State Credit Union, creating lasting value. Thank you to Green State Credit Union for your sponsorship of tonight's match and your partnership with Hawkeye Volleyball. Hawks were able to get a kill to stop the run, but Nebraska kind of started right back up on it. 15-6 here in the first.
Yeah, just still a lot of unforced errors on the Hawks side. I'd like to see them clean it up a little bit and just hitting a lot of balls out, and that's controllable. The roll shot really catches them off guard when they throw it in the campfire and throws everybody off. Nobody's really sure whose ball it actually is, but I think just throwing in a roll shot, a tip here or there versus hitting the ball out will get them a long way.
Alec to serve again. Over in front of the Nebraska bench. She takes a step forward. Fires it right down the line. Hinkle off the net. Tessier outside Vanderwide. Good swing, but it's dug up. Or platforms it behind. Urquhart gets the dig. Tessier, middle from McSweeney. Blocked. Hinkle covers. Tessier behind her on a banjo. Tries to hit it high over. Good dig by Orr. Kubik uses hands. Big swing. Urquhart overpass. Catches a break. On a banjo, outside Vanderwide, off the block. Somebody's in the net. Krause got caught in the net, I think, as she turned around. That wasn't a gentle was there. All of a sudden, the net starts bouncing.
Sometimes when you come down from a block jump, your elbow catches it just right and really snags it down.
Hawks will take the side out. 15-7 now. Dennis back to serve. Goes right down the line. Rodriguez. Or behind her. McSweeney's block was late. Krause gets the kill in between. 16-7.
Urquhart was there on that block. Her right hand was just a little bit off the net, so kind of ate the ball a little bit.
Hames now back to serve. Good flat serve. Dennis. Tessier. Urquhart gets it over. Mishandled there. I think a little miscommunication between Kubik and Rodriguez. And like you said, you keep the ball in. At least you make the other team make a play.
Exactly. Yeah, a little bit of an off-speed shot there for Urquhart, too. I don't think she was expecting that, but it works.
Jones comes back in. Hinkle goes to the service line. Mari right down the line. Sails it long, though. Good job by Batenhorst to dive out of the way at the last second there. Knuckles will come in for her to serve. Knuckles floats it over. Urquhart, good pass. Tessier, Jones. One-hand dig by Hames. Horde uses hands. Urquhart, Hinkle. A little miscommunication there from the Hawks. Rodriguez, Hames, Horde. Tessier kind of was leaning left. Ball went back to her right. 18-8 Nebraska.
Comes back to the unforced errors again here. Just a little sloppy on the Hawk side.
Knuckles floats it over, uses Jones. Tessier behind her. Anabanjo splits the block. Horde was a little late there. Was it? Anabanjo gets her first kill.
Once again, a nice seam open for the right side when that middle. Horde sticks with Amaya Jones up there.
So with the block and the unforced errors, how much of that is, hey, I know we have to do something really, really good to get a kill here, and that putting that extra pressure on yourself?
Yeah, it becomes mental at a certain point too, just putting a lot of pressure on yourself, but just taking it point by point.
Anabanjo, good serve to Rodriguez. Anabanjo with the dig. Tessier outside Urquhart. Off the block, dug by Rodriguez. Amaya Jones catches the overpass. Now, see, she learned something because when she did that against Rutgers, she brought the net down. This time
yes.
she snapped her hand back at the last second.
Now that's a momentum shifter here.
Hawks a couple in a row now. Amaya's got a couple kills. Anabanjo here over in the one spot right in front of the Hawkeye bench. Hustles forward, floats it across. Rodriguez off the net. Hames, Horde, blocked by Tessier. And the cover, oh, it didn't work. 18-11, Hawks have 3 in a row.
It's good hang time by Tessier. It's a little bit of an off speed. She hung up there to get that block touch.
That's still the advantage of a 6'3" setter.
Yeah.
Anabanjo floats this one, goes right at the 4 spot. Hames behind her. Hinkle gets the dig. Tessier behind her. Anabanjo hits it off Horde's head. Rodriguez with the dig. Hames, Horde. Blocked! Amaya Jones. Hawks finding a way. They get a timeout from Coach Cook. 4 in a row. It's 18-12 now. Quickstar is proud to be the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye Volleyball. Quickstar goes the extra mile to make sure that you always have the freshest options because service and quality is what matters most. Visit any of our locations across Iowa. You mentioned momentum changer. We've kind of seen that. The Hawks have been able to get a little bit more pep in their step and maybe keep Nebraska out of system a little bit.
Yep. Maya Jones as a senior kind of leading that too is really great for the team as well.
When we talked beforehand about how you find kills and you know, even I was thinking about a couple of service errors that Iowa has. You still have to be somewhat aggressive though, because if you give Nebraska basically a free ball to run at you,
yep.
they're going to score.
Yep.
So whether it's serving aggressive or tipping to spots that somehow get them out of system to give
yep.
yourself a chance to recycle the point.
Yep. I think out of system is the key with really good teams like Nebraska that are just balanced all the way around. So just that fine line of staying balanced and staying patient, but also still trying to be aggressive without making errors.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't just say, all right, we're going to wait for you to make an error because Nebraska's probably not going to beat themselves very often.
Right.
So you're going to run into trouble there. But as we talked, Nebraska now has 3 hitting errors. They've come from 2 Iowa blocks and just an error on their part. So getting a little bit closer there of what you want to see. Iowa still hitting 111. But they've kind of cleaned up their end of it, as you said, kept the ball in play. On one of them, they kept the ball in play and had a Nebraska receiving error then.
Yep.
Anabanjo will try to keep the run going. Smacks it down. Now she comes forward. Floats it again. In that 4 spot. Goes over Horde's head off the block. Good dig, Dennis. Tessier outside. Urquhart. Good dig by Hames. Rodriguez. Outside Launstein. Dug by Tessier. Dennis. Urquhart. Good dig by Rodriguez. And Kubik gets the kill off the Hawkeye block.
Yeah, Kubik was going for those high hands there. She brought her swing clear across her body to tool that outside hand. It's a smart swing. Really hard to block.
But that's pretty much what the scramble, you kept Nebraska out of system and made them make a good swing to get the kill still. Rodriguez to serve now, 19-12. Good flat serve. Dennis, good pass to Ortega to middle of Jones. Timing just a little bit off. She hits it in the net.
Usually an automatic kill there for Ortega, forcing Amaya on that 3 ball. Just a little too low for Jones there.
Almost like I got behind her a little bit. Rodriguez, another good serve. Dennis. Ortega forces it right back. Gets the kill this time. 21-13. I'm sorry, 20-13.
Better set there for Jones. Like you said, that was more in front of her and gave her a little bit more height to get there on that 3.
Vanderwide back to the front row. Dennis to the bench. Urquhart back to serve. Mickey pops it over. Good flat serve. Kubik, good ball. Hames back out to Kubik. Block touch goes out of bounds. 21-13 Nebraska on the Kubik kill. She's got 4. Lonstein runs forward. Goes at Vanderwide. Bad pass. Ortega gets it up in the air. Jones tried to use left hand and didn't get enough on it. And that's to your point. Instead of being cute trying to win the point right there, get it over the net
Yep.
and make Nebraska run it at you and score. Lonstein, another good flat serve. Vanderwide. Ortega outside to Vanderwide. Off the block. Dug up. Big swing there. Kubik gets the kill off an Alec set. The freshman middle doesn't get to put many balls up that way.
Those middles always love to take those second balls.
Does every middle think they have good hands?
Yes, absolutely.
That was pretty good. Lonstein, another good flat one. Hinkle, Ortega. Jones has to tip. Dug by Kubik. Big, strong platform. That comes over. Jones, Ortega, Jones. Gets the kill after she bowled over Mari Hinkle. Though not get in the way of an Amaya Jones kill. So 23-14. Jones back to serve. Serves it into the net. And it's 24-14. We've got 2 handfuls of set points for Nebraska. Maddie Kubik back to serve. Comes forward and fires it over. Good serve down the line to Hinkle. McSweeney's dug by Orr. Rodriguez behind her. At Battenhorst back on the Nebraska side. Rodriguez put a good ball out to Krause, and Krause put it away. First set goes to Nebraska, 25-14. Hawks will have to regroup, see if they can put together a little stiffer test. Nebraska up 1-0. We'll take a break. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball, presented by Quickstar. Welcome back to Hawkeye Volleyball, presented by Quickstar. Iowa Volleyball is also brought to you by University of Iowa Sports Medicine, offering sports injury prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation to athletes of all ages and skill levels. University of Iowa Sports Medicine, team physician of your Iowa Hawks. John Evans alongside Reagan Coyle. All right, Reagan, we need a better second set. You've had good coaching tips when I've asked you before. What do we need to – again, we're not necessarily looking to see – I mean, yeah, a win's great. History says that's probably not in the cards for Iowa tonight. But how do you show competitiveness and progress and steal a set? Maybe steal two, then figure out how to win a match.
Sure. I mean, I know we've been kind of a broken record saying this the past first set here, but I just think limiting those unforced errors for Iowa is going to be really important. And setting the ball over and making Nebraska work for each and every point. Once they get going, it's hard to stop their momentum. So I think to even prevent that from starting would be a good place to start. Staying aggressive from the serving line. Lots of missed serves there from Iowa that first set. So just clean it up a little bit overall.
4 kills and 2 blocks from Amaya Jones. Maddie Kubik leads everyone, though. 5 kills on 9 swings. Throw in 3 digs. And I was looking, because, again, I want to make it perfectly clear. I was complimenting her when I was saying what
Yes.
I've seen from her. 3.23 kills per set. She has 15 aces on the year. She's got 2.26 digs per set. She's got 0.38 blocks. I remember a match earlier in the season, I think it was the Ohio State match, where she had the match-winning block in the 5th set there in Lincoln. Dennis serves at Maddie. Hames pushes it outside. Big swing off the block. Falls into the court. That was Tessier. Actually, it was Anna Banjo and McSweeney who get the block on Batenhorst. Hawks lead 1-0. So, yeah, I want to be perfectly clear how much I appreciate Maddie Kubik. Dennis floats that into a 2-spot. Great serve. Hames, great hands, pushes it outside. Tessier digs it up. Hinkle chases it down. Dennis would have had to punch a fan to get that with a one-handed swing to get back in, but great hustle from the Hawks.
Yeah, it was a great serving spot, too, to get them out of system.
She put that right in that 2-spot just in front of the 3-meter line, and Hames used good hands to get that ball outside. And Hames will go back to serve now. We're tied at 1. Good flat serve. Tessier to McSweeney off Rodriguez, who they get it up in the air. Kubik from the back row with an unforced error. And you don't see Nebraska make too many of those, but Hawks will take it.
Yep, take advantage of it while they can.
Well, that's, again, we feel like we're harping on it, but to your point, you just make them keep playing the ball. And yes, they're Nebraska. Yes, they're really, really good, but they will make some errors and help you out. Hinkle, good flat serve at Kubik. Hames to Horde. Tips it over. Good dig from Dennis. Tessier outside. Urquhart blocks there. And that was Batenhorst and Horde. Knuckles checks in. She's done just a little bit of everything in her career in Nebraska. She's actually a decent back row attacker, even though she's a little bit smaller.
Yeah, when they set her on the pipe, she has a good arm.
Urquhart, Tessier behind her on a banjo. Good tip. That ball's deep and over. Urquhart goes up. Good heads-up play there from Lonstein, but Urquhart beats it off the block. Ricochets out of bounds. We've seen Michelle do that a couple times. Most of the time it ends up being an open net. Lonstein was ready to go. Hawks lead 3-2 on a banjo back to serve. Good flat serve. Rodriguez steps in and takes it. Hames has to platform to Kubik. Off the block. Comes to the Hawkeye side. Urquhart, Tessier wins the joust. Hames, Rodriguez outside. Ball goes to Lonstein. Dug by Anna Banjo. Hinkle's able to chase it down. Dennis fires it over, and it comes over. Rodriguez, Hames, Kubik finds the spot. Well, the Hawks made him win it again.
Yeah. Great hustle by Hinkle over there. Just laying out for every ball.
Horde goes out. Alec comes in. Rodriguez back to the service line. That's at least the fight you want to see out of Iowa, though. At least the hustle and give it a go. Rodriguez, good flat serve down the line. Urquhart, Ortega, Jones, chops it, catches the line.
Great cross-body swing by Jones. That's her favorite way to go, and painted the line there.
Urquhart now to serve. She's in that 5 spot right in front of the Hawkeye bench. Pops forward, floats it over, floats it short, goes in the net. We've seen her through the matches. She's very good at hitting that. I guess that 3-4 spot, you know, not quite getting it all the way to the campfire spot. That one just a little short, tied at 4. Lonstein back to serve. Fires it at Urquhart. Good pass. Ortega behind her to Jones. Misses the back line. No touch called. 5-4 Nebraska leads. Kind of tried that off speed there again a little bit and just tried to find the line.
Just a little bit too much.
Lonstein, another good flat serve at Urquhart. Ortega has to platform it to Vanderwide. High off the block, dug by Rodriguez. Hames, slide to Alec. Off the net, dug by Hinkle. Ortega behind her, Schmidt tips, and it's a beauty. Right over the cubic Alec block. And if you can get that ball down in front of Rodriguez, that's a pretty darn good block.
What?
Tied at 5.
Smart tip by Schmidt there. Perfect height to get it just over the block.
Jones goes right down the line. Cubic misconnects there. That was Orr came in. Missed her connection with the middle and Alec. Hawks steal a point there, 6-5. Jones, same spot. It's a beauty. Cubic, good ball. Orr doesn't handle that one very well either. It was tight to the net. I shouldn't blame her for that entirely. She ended up putting it in the net then. Hawks have a 2-point lead. Nebraska's battled injuries with their setters a little bit. Nicklin Hames was out for a little bit. Kennedy Orr's battled some injuries too as she's tried to take the 5-1 spot. Didn't quite work out. Jones goes the opposite direction. Knuckles, great pass. Orr outside, big swing off the block. McSweeney just tips it right back over. Knuckles covers. There's that darn middle, but that ball misses long. Touch called. Give Alec another assist.
2 assists.
And give Krause the kill on the left side, 7-6. Cubic back to serve. Gets her spot from Coach Cook. Comes forward, Hinkle. Good pass. Ortega tried to one-hand it. It was well too short for McSweeney, and we're tied at 7. So I'm always curious to see how this. Yeah, that's an attack error to McSweeney, and boy, that's a killer for the.
Yeah, that is a bummer.
Cubic goes
Not much you can do there.
Hinkle again. Ortega outside. Vanderwide chops it over, dug by Orr. Rodriguez comes this direction to Krause. Big swing. Gets the kill. 8-7 Nebraska. As the hitter, as the dad of a hitter, I was always bitter that went against the hitter. Had no chance there. But
yeah.
Three in a row from Nebraska. Cubic to serve again. Another good one, Vanderwide. Ortega, McSweeney out of the middle. Ortega covers, the ball's tight. McSweeney tips it over. Orr gets the dig. Rodriguez from her knees. Blocked back on the Hawkeye side as Schmidt and McSweeney get the better of Batenhorst.
This is what the Hawks need to do, just go point for point with Nebraska, not really get any runs rolling on the opposite side of the net and just stick with them. They're doing a good job of limiting their unforced errors, and 8-8 shows it.
Tessier back to serve. Good serve. Cubic off the net. Orr chases it down. Big swing. Dug up. Back on the Nebraska side. Orr outside again. Oh my! You don't want to no block Batenhorst very often. That ball finds the floor. 9-8 Nebraska.
I don't know if I would no block any of those hitters.
Fair point. But the 6'5" sophomore there's got Well, they all have a whip, so that's not even a fair thing to say either. Alec now back to serve. Goes right down the line, sails it long. Tied at 9. Yeah, just looking at the stats real quick, the attack errors are similar, blocks are similar. Nebraska with 21 digs, which again is, they're not necessarily dominant at the net, but they get a lot of touches. They spook you enough that allows that back row defense to really take charge. Dennis now serves, goes at Kubik or to Horde. Tips it, Tessier gets it. Dennis platforms it to Urquhart. Rodriguez or outside, ball's tight, dug by Tessier. Dennis again goes right side on a banjo from the back, dug by Orr. Rodriguez uses hands. Boy, that ball's not any good. But Batenhorst does a great job with it, pushes it off the block and gets the kill.
Yeah, she really saved that ball. That set was very, very tight. She got her hand on it.
Tight, and it almost looked outside the antenna, but she was able to push it off the block. 10-9 Nebraska. Hames back in. Floats it over. Dennis. Tessier, McSweeney. Rodriguez. Hames goes outside. Batenhorst off the block. McSweeney tips it. You don't see that very often. Rodriguez caught a little flat-footed. McSweeney gets the kill. We're tied at 10.
I like how McSweeney's staying ready even with those block touches. She's getting a tip on it, and she's getting a smart tip, too.
Hinkle back to serve. Goes at Kubik. Hames goes up. Good ball outside. Hawks get that ball up in the air. Hinkle platforms it over. Good dig on the swing by Launstein. Hames back out to Launstein. One-hand dig from Hinkle. Tessier behind her. On a banjo, misses long. No touch called. 11-10 Nebraska. Knuckles checks in for Batenhorst. Knuckles right down the line. Overpass from Hinkle, left Tessier defenseless. Kubik gets an easy kill, her 6th. All Lily could do is protect her head at that point. Knuckles floats that one over, uses Amaya Jones. Tessier outside Urquhart, off the block, dug by Knuckles. Hames outside Kubik. Good sharp cut there, gets the kill in front of Sydney Dennis. Nicklin Hames earlier in the year became the timeout Iowa, 13-10 Nebraska. Nicklin Hames became the all-time assist leader in Nebraska history, and part of that is COVID, and part of that is
I was going to say part of that is because she also played when I was a senior. It's been a while.
So she's had some quality time at Nebraska, is what you're saying. But that's kind of what we're up against in this day and age.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's got a chance to be. Well, she's going to break 5,000 here. If not tonight, she'll break it at some point here real shortly, which is a pretty amazing number. And and then at a program like Nebraska to be the all-time leading assist disher is a pretty good testament to her hands and what she's been able to accomplish.
And even with them running a 6-2 this season too, for her to still stack up that many.
Hey, Hawk fans, experience your home away from home at Coralville's finest all-suite hotels, Homewood Suites and Home to Suites by Hilton. Each offer guests spacious suites, complimentary breakfast, 24-hour fitness center, pool, hot tub, guest laundry, and convenient locations. Let their warm and friendly staff take care of you and your family when you visit Hawkeye Country. So 13-10, Nebraska on top here in the second. And Iowa had done a very good job, to your point, early in the set, limiting unforced errors, a little bit more of a back and forth.
Yep.
Errors piling up here a little bit.
A little bit. She had a big side out point here to shift the momentum here.
Knuckles floats that over again. On a banjo, uses hands. Tessier catches Jones on a good quick approach. Rodriguez, Hames, blocked, catches the line. Amaya Jones and Michelle Urquhart get the block on Lonstein.
It's a great setup by Urquhart there to get Amaya where she needs to be as a middle to close that block and get hands up there. It's a great block by those two.
Important side out there. Hawks get it. On a banjo back to serve now. Good flat serve, Rodriguez. Hames, outside Kubik. Blocked. Ball's up. Horde tips it over. Hinkle, Tessier, Urquhart. Scores. 13-12 on the Urquhart kill. It's just kind of fun having the Nebraska coaching staff in front just to watch the different interaction. Assistant coach immediately looks at one of the other assistant coaches, and they were hand position there. On a banjo, another good serve. Knuckles, overpass, Jones, kill, 13-all. And I suppose the difference between Wisconsin winning the national championship last year and Nebraska winning the championship last year is a couple of details. And Wisconsin ended up getting those, so a level Iowa will strive to at some point, but it's just interesting to see the different things coaches need to notice. On a banjo, sails that one long. Did a nice job catching the Hawkeyes up. Service there makes it 14-13 Nebraska.
1 point at a time there.
Schmidt and Ortega in. Rodriguez back to serve. That'll put Alec back in the front row for Nebraska. Rodriguez right down the line. Hinkle, good pass. Ortega outside. Schmidt, dug by Rodriguez. Hames, middle attack. Alec misses wide, no touch. Tied at 14. I am pretty sure there's 3 of Rodriguez on the floor at any given time. She tries to take every serve and every ball. She's all over the place. Urquhart to serve for the Hawkeyes. Good serve. Kubik, bad pass. Hames to Kubik. Rolls it over. Finds the donut, gets the kill anyway, 15-14.
A little bit of a change of pace there. Nebraska had a few hitting errors in a row there. Switch it up, roll shot by Maddie Kubik.
Kubik's got 6 now. Lonstein into the net. Rolls over. Jones mishandles it. Ace serve, 16-14. Actually, that was 8 kills from Kubik. Tough break there for Jones on the net cord. Hinkle, better pass. Ortega outside, Vanderwide, block. Alec got all of that one. 3 in a row from Nebraska, 17-14. Timeout, Coach Barnes. We'll go ahead and take it as well. 17-14, Nebraska leads set 2. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball, presented by Quickstar. Welcome back to Extreme Arena and Hawkeye Volleyball. John Evans alongside Reagan Coyle. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Take a closer look and you'll discover the many connections you have to corn. And those connections translate into wins for farmers and wins for all Iowans. Share your winning moments using hashtag IowansWin. 17-14, Nebraska on top. Iowa battled back. Nebraska now on their own 3-0 run, but not necessarily, we've continued to talk about unforced errors. A service ace off the tape, a good block. So it's not all bad. Hawkeyes haven't given away the points. Nebraska, they are a good team. They are going to score eventually.
Just a couple unlucky points.
See if the Hawks can change the luck. Lonstein to serve again. Goes at Hinkle. Good pass. Ortega. Middle to Jones. One-on-one block from Alec. And if you're coming out of the timeout, probably what you want if you're the Hawkeyes. Alec was a little better than Jones that time, 18-14. Lonstein again, Hinkle. That ball's tight. Alec demolishes it back onto the Hawkeye side, 19-14, 5 in a row. Teams of this quality, you blink or take a deep breath and they're going to just run it right back at you. Lonstein, another good one. Urquhart, good pass. Tessier outside, Vanderwide off the side of the block and scores. Able to sneak it past Hames. Hames in the antenna, 19-15.
It's a good tool off that outside hand. The smaller block of the Nicklin in the front row there. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, Hames the 5'10". Jones, good sharp serve. Kubik, or tipped over right in front of Ortega. Good kill there from Krause. Kubik now to serve, 20-15. Nebraska leads set 2. Kubik, good strong serve at Urquhart. Tessier outside Vanderwide. Or with the dig. Kubik uses hands. Krause, dug by Ortega. Tessier, Vanderwide. That ball's up and in. Kubik puts it over. Urquhart, Tessier dumps, scores. Fantastic play there.
It's a great dump by Tessier to kind of catch Nebraska off guard there. That's her first dump, and she's not in the front row often, so when she is, take advantage of it.
I heard Coach Cook say to Maddie Kubik there, she served, aim small, and as a golfer, I like that. You aim small, you miss small. That's kind of the idea. You know, be very specific about where you want to hit it. Trying to get her to dime in on her serve. Tessier sails it long. 21-16, Nebraska on top. I like long better than the net, but 2 feet long is not a tough decision for the receiver.
Sailing past your head, that one's going out of bounds for sure.
Alex spins it, she's ready to serve. Right down the line, Hinkle, bad pass. Hawks do get it over. Krause, or tipped off the block. Tessier, Hinkle on a banjo, or with the dig. Alec pushes it outside. High, long, touch called. Give the kill to Krause, give another assist to Alec.
She might brag about this
And
tonight.
she wanted that ball too.
Yeah, she did.
I may have to check the Nebraska stats to see what her career high is, but she has to be approaching it. 22-16, Cornhuskers on top. Right down the line again. Hinkle, Tessier outside, Vanderwide. Dug by Kubik, good ball, or. Good timing there, but Hinkle gets the dig. Tessier, McSweeney, it was low. One-handed it up in the air, Kubik from the back row. Uses Tessier. McSweeney, awkward but effective.
Doesn't even have to jump to make that happen.
6'7", kind of spun the shoulders, made sure she got square. Feet were still pointed the wrong way, but got shoulders square. Sometimes good fortune shines when you're aggressive. Hawks will take it, 22-17. Dennis to serve. Good serve there. Kubik, or behind her. That ball sailed long, touch called. Give the kill to Krause again. She's got 8 now, 23-17.
The line judges have caught the last 2 touches, but I feel like they were just as obvious as the first 2 they used challenges on, but maybe paying more attention to it now.
They're on top of their touch game now. Had to get warmed up. Hames back in to serve. Spins it and fires it over. Good drop serve there. Tessier behind her on a banjo. Dug by Hames. Rodriguez behind her, high off the block. Hinkle gets the dig. Tessier, McSweeney, block back on the Hawkeye side, finds the floor.
Good aggressive swing by McSweeney, but brought that one down a little bit. She hit it right into the block. Needs to use her height on that one.
Hames will serve for the set for Nebraska. Floats it over, uses Anabanjo in the 2 spot. Tessier back to Anabanjo. High off the block, Kubik chases it down right in front of us. Hames all the way across. Batenhorst, good swing. Hawks get it over. Hinkle platforms, Kubik, Hames, Batenhorst, long. Calls the touch though. We'll see if Coach Barnes challenges. I like the, as he does make the challenge. I like the assistant coach out of the side of his mouth, the coach Cook said, I don't think it was touched.
Yeah.
So I like that part of it. So we'll see as keeping Dane hopping here. 3rd challenge of the match. Ball was clearly long. Oh, here we go. They've got better views than we have here on the floor. I like these. Still looks like it's spinning normally. We shall see. Now some could argue at 24 to 17, 25 to 17, do you really need to risk your challenge here? But
I think it comes back to being able to keep it too. I mean, you know, if you're not able to keep the challenge, if you use it, you know, probably not worth it. But if you get to keep it and play goes on, might as well.
And especially as you're trying to fight, you know, again, as Iowa, maybe you aren't, of course you're trying to win, but realistically it's, hey, let's just fight for every point.
Yep.
And that includes the coach. And so that includes fighting for the point and seeing if you can get a point here and extend it one more, give your team a chance to serve.
And even if it's not this set that they take, just kind of creating momentum going into that 3rd set too is important.
Maybe you string some points together, you get to 20, and now all of a sudden you feel a little bit better about yourself.
Exactly.
Can move forward. We've got 8 kills for Maddie Kubik, 8 for Lindsey Krause, 6 for Amaya Jones, 3 for Delaney McSweeney, and 3 for Michelle Urquhart. Nebraska hitting .308 on the match, but Iowa has held them to .235 here in this set. And if they take a kill away from Batenhorst here, then that lowers that percentage just even that much more. Iowa hitting just .088, 103 on the match, which is actually better than they hit in Lincoln. I think we got it confirmed, I think. So yeah, he saw the touch despite every Hawkeye denying touching it. So that'll do it. Nebraska takes set 2, 25 to 17. They'll lead 2 sets to 0. We'll go ahead and take a break. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball, presented by Quickstar. Welcome back to Hawkeye Volleyball Extreme Arena. John Evans, Reagan Coyle here. Nebraska leads 2-0. Just watched a fantastic game of Pepper with my daughter in it as part of the halftime between set 2 and 3 entertainment. So big shout out to her. She's still got a couple volleyball skills. Maddie Kubik's over there on the other team, and Ellie's peppering during the timeout. So good stuff. Speaking of Maddie Kubik, leads the match, 8 kills. Lindsay Krause also with 8, both hitting in the 460s. Amaya Jones, 6 kills for the Hawkeyes. Iowa hitting 103 for the match. Nebraska hitting 303. As the Hawks will come out. Drop set 1, 25-14. Drop set 2, 25-17. See if they can make a push, see how long they can make this set last. If you make this set last, then you make it last a little bit longer.
Yep. At least we have a better view this set.
Well, Coach Yale is he's pretty energetic too, and gets I got to get him moving a little bit more to stay out of our sight line. I was giving him a hard time sitting on the ice. I was cold. He was stripping off his long sleeve earlier in the match. Like, man, there's no way.
Yeah, your feet get kind of cold back here.
My hands and feet are cold. Nicklin Hames will get us started here in set 3. Floats it over. Dennis steps in front. Tessier outside to Urquhart. High off the block, dug by Kubik. Hames chases it down, platforms it outside. Dug by Hinkle, but into the cameraman. Give that kill to Batenhorst, as she now also has 8.
Hinkle was there on that dig. She kind of threw her arms up there. She was in the right spot.
Good serve, kind of ate Dennis up. Hinkle platforms it to Urquhart. Good aggressive swing, dug by Rodriguez. Hames, good ball. Kubik just platforms it over. Anabanjo takes it. Tessier outside, Urquhart behind her. She tips it. Tough handle there from Batenhorst. Pushed off the block. Tessier with the dig. Dennis behind her to Urquhart. Off the block, comes back to the Hawkeye side. Hawks punch it over and find the corner. I think that might have been Urquhart where they got the heel pad punch into the into that far one corner.
Thought they were gonna set up and give her a good set again, but as soon as I saw everybody scramble, the ball was over the net.
Hinkle now to serve. Sails it long. You win that kind of momentum building point, and then you
got to make your serve there.
Hand it right back.
Yep.
Knuckles comes back in to serve. Knuckles, good serve. Hinkle, bad pass. Anabanjo gets a hand on it. Tessier hits it back over outside the antenna.
You're good. We're good. Just outside the antenna, though. That was a great effort by Anabanjo.
Yeah, Coach Yale thinks it was inside the antenna. I've got the same angle, and I don't.
Can't challenge that one, I suppose.
Hinkle, bad pass. Tessier platforms it to Urquhart. Dug by Rodriguez. Hames, back row, Knuckles. There it is. So you had the coaching moments earlier. That was my coaching moment of Kenzie Knuckles is pretty good from all kinds of places. She gets the back row kill there.
Kind of a secret weapon because I don't think anybody's with Nebraska's front row right now. Nobody's expecting Knuckles to get the ball back there.
They don't roll it out very often. Probably a good time for them to work on it too.
Yeah.
Dennis, good pass to Tessier. Jones, dug by Rodriguez. Knuckles chases it down. Hames platforms it over. Anabanjo, Tessier, Jones, dug by Hames. Jones, dug by Kubik. Jones, out. That's what makes Nebraska great. Those are 2 really good swings from Jones, or good plays. And Nebraska just plays defense and keeps them up.
Love the aggressiveness by Jones. Just a little long there. 3 in a row. Maybe a little tired.
Knuckles right down at Dennis. Good pass. On a banjo on the backside. Through the block. Dug by Knuckles. Rodriguez. Kubik. Blocked. 6-1 Nebraska. Timeout, Coach Barnes. We'll take a short break. 6-1 Nebraska leads here in the third. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball presented by Quickstar. Welcome back to Hawkeye Volleyball, presented by Quickstar. Hey, Hawk fans, Oak Knoll's presently hiring full-time and part-time cooks to work in one of their 4 dining venues. Their cook shifts end at 8 p.m., meaning no late nights and more time with your family and friends. They work with fresh foods, and they allow you to show off your creativity. Does having paid time off and benefits sound good to you? Learn more. Go to oaknoll.com/join our team. Go Hawks. 6-1, Nebraska leads the third. It's funny, we're talking about kind of Nebraska's blocking prowess or the opponent's hitting percentage and being number 1 in the nation. Iowa out-blocking Nebraska 5-4, but Nebraska, this stat just blows my mind to look at. Yeah. 43 digs to just 22 for the Hawkeyes.
They're just keeping the ball alive. No matter what, that ball does not hit the floor on their side, and
You don't
partially to Lexi Rodriguez. She's all over the place.
Yeah, you don't really get a soft kill. Lexi Rodriguez with 15 digs of her own. Maddie Kubik with 8. Those 2 with 23 digs have outdug Iowa. Knuckles. Ball goes to the right side to Anna Banjo. Misses wide. Anna Banjo adamant that there was no touch. Coach Barnes has got the challenge left. He lost the challenge right at the end of the second set.
Hawks notably frustrated, and I didn't see that one. I was watching the players there, but, I mean, if they're missing these obvious ones, it's frustrating as a player, too, to just kind of stop and review it and kind of stops your momentum if you have any going.
Yeah, it looks like Horde maybe coming in late, maybe, because it sure didn't look like the pin hitter got it, but Coach Barnes trusting his team on the touch. Well, obviously well wide. We're going to reverse that one. So Coach Barnes will still have 1 challenge left, and if you tuned in for the Penn State match, you know we go with challenges optional here. So Coach Barnes sometimes gets more extra. He gets bonus challenges every once in a while. So give Anna Banjo the kill there. 6-2. Nebraska leads. And Anna Banjo's, that's just her 2nd kill. So she's had she wants that. She's had kind of a tough day. No errors, though. Anna Banjo, good serve. Knuckles, Hames, right side swing, blocked. Smart play there by Kubik. As Lonstein put a good swing on it, was blocked back onto the Nebraska side, went over Kubik's head. Instincts were to put that ball or get your hands up and save it, but then she realized it was probably going out.
Yeah.
Good court awareness. So Lonstein with a kill, 7-2 Nebraska. Rodriguez and her 15 digs to serve. Down the line at Urquhart. Ortega back to Urquhart on the right side pin, dug by Rodriguez. Schmidt, Ortega, Jones. Misses wide, no touch. 8-2. Rodriguez, 16 digs, 6 assists. Great serve there. Hinkle. Ortega forces it to Jones. She finds the floor that time. Amaya now with 7.
It's a good set there by Ortega. And, you know, they did that last time when she gave her a low set on that 3 ball. And Amaya couldn't quite get it over. She set her again the very next play, and that's exactly what they did here. It's kind of a make-up, like, oh, I didn't get you that one. Let me get you a better one. Forces that back 2 ball.
Scoreboard I don't think is right. Urquhart, Hames. Big swing. Give another kill to Lonstein. 9-3 Nebraska. So, is that just the down ref flexing his muscle there, bringing him back to have him cross the right way again? For what purpose does that serve?
Yeah, just making sure the subs are accounted for, I guess.
Kennedy Orr in to serve after being properly chastised by the down referee. Serves in the net. She was visibly shaken there.
He might have iced her there.
It might have iced her a little bit. 9-4. Amaya Jones back to serve. Hops forward, off the tape. Good play by Alec. Orr tipped over by Kubik, goes wide. Kubik ran up the middle there. That was,
Yeah, it wasn't quite high enough for her on the back row set.
And Alec was kind of in the way from having to take the serve.
Yeah.
So it was, I guess that's again why, you know, you end up in that, I guess that'd be the 3 spot there. You create that traffic and keep them out of there. And
Yep.
Nebraska pushed it in there anyway and wasn't able to finish. Jones goes hard at Rodriguez. Or outside, off the block, Ortega with the dig. Jones platforms it to Schmidt. Knuckles couldn't get the one-handed dig, give the kill to Adina. She's got 3.
Assists by Jones, too.
Amaya
Both
Jones.
middles racking up assists.
And she called for it, too. and much like Alec, I've seen Amaya go, I've got that ball.
Yeah.
I want that ball.
They always do, those middles.
Amaya floats that one over. Good ball. Good play by Kubik. Or it's low, but a good, smart play there from Krause as she hits it high hands off and over the end line. Good kill for her, 10-6. Kubik now to serve. Goes at Hinkle, off the net. Ortega has to platform it to Vanderwide. Good dig by Rodriguez. Or outside. Swing goes long from Batenhorst. As much as I enjoy disliking Nebraska sports in general, it is really hard to dislike this team. They just do things so well. And they are a good standard to aspire to, proving that you can recruit in the Midwest and all of those other fun things. Tessier goes at Kubik, or pushes it behind her, off the block. Tessier with the dig. Hinkle, Vanderwide from the pin. Off the block. Kubik couldn't dig it. 10-8, Nebraska on top.
Making Nebraska make those unforced errors on their side here. A few in a row. For the Hawks, they're within 2.
Tessier floats that one into the 5-6 seam, or dig by Hinkle on a banjo to Vanderwide. Good rollover, or gets the dig. Alec uses hands outside. Give that middle another assist as Krause gets the kill. Oh yeah, I was going to look up her.
We got to find her.
They've got to have her in the. They've got to have her in this. You've got the stapled together version there for Nebraska. See what she's got for a career high. She's back to serve now. There you go. Alec to serve. Good serve at Hinkle. Tessier outside, Vanderwide. Off the block, back over. Vanderwide gets the kill.
It's at least a season high for her. The most she's ever had was 2 assists at Rutgers.
Alex a freshman, so if it's a season high, it's a career high. So.
That's right.
So she's had a pretty good
She's
all
doubled
around.
that tonight, right? With 4.
All around game. She actually has more assists than she has kills right now. Not something you see out of a middle very often. Dennis rips it over. Big swing. Hawkeyes in the net. Give the kill to Batenhorst. Yeah, Becca Alec has filled the stat sheet. 3 kills, 4 assists, 1 dig, and 2 blocks. So she's got a pyramid going. 12-9 Nebraska leads. Hames back in to serve. Hames floats it at Hinkle. Tessier behind her and a banjo. Blocked. Give that to Batenhorst and Horde. 13-9.
Nebraska block was pressed all the way over the net before that ball was swung at by Anna Banjo. Not a whole lot you can do with that swing besides maybe tip it over the block.
Hames at Hinkle. Bad pass. Dennis platforms it to Urquhart. Off the block. Anna Banjo takes it. Tessier outside. Urquhart another chance. Gets it through the block and scores. They'll be running laps for allowing that to happen. 13-10. Urquhart's got 5.
It's a good high swing by Urquhart out there, not trying to bring it down too low and not sailing it out of bounds. Aiming for those high hands.
Hinkle, good serve at Cubic. Hames outside, big swing. Launstein nearly kills Hinkle. 14-10. You know that ball's moving when she's that far away and still has no way of really defending herself. Nice sportsmanship move from Launstein there. She comes over and checks on Hinkle. Now the really sportsmanship thing to do would be like hit 3 change-ups at her so she can get her bearings on the digs now. Knuckles to serve, 14-10 Nebraska. Right at Hinkle. Tessier one hands. Anna Banjo pats it over. Rodriguez, Hames. Left hand from Cubic. Tessier, Urquhart tips. Dug by Cubic. Hames. Back row from Knuckles. Anna Banjo gets the cover. Dennis, Urquhart blocked and inbounds. Tried kind of the bicycle swing kill, didn't work. Coach Barnes will call timeout. 15-10 Nebraska leads. Hawks will use their last timeout. We'll take it. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball, presented by Quickstar. Welcome back to Extreme Arena. Iowa Volleyball is brought to you by University of Iowa Sports Medicine, offering sports injury prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation to athletes of all ages and skill levels. University of Iowa Sports Medicine, team physician of your Iowa Hawks. 15-10, Nebraska leads the third. John Evans, Reagan Coyle. It's all right. Last chance to coach here. How do the Hawks make a run and at least make Nebraska sweat? Maybe your goal is let's make Coach John Cook use a timeout here in the third set.
I like that goal. When he takes a timeout, he gets very angry. I'd like to see Angry John tonight.
See if we can get a little feistiness put up over there. That'll mean the Hawkeyes have done something good. Starts with a side out here. As soon as I made the observation that Iowa had the lead in blocks, Nebraska went ahead and decided to take that back.
Yep.
Knuckles now to serve. Good serve there. Overpass, look out. Cubic finds the floor.
Hinkle can't be 2 places at once, so it's a tough serve down the line there. It's a great up by her, but can't cover the overpass after laying out for that one.
Cubic's got 11 now. Knuckles goes at Dennis. Tessier, Urquhart. Dug up, Hames outside. They got a block on Kubik, but it goes out of bounds. She's got 12 now, 17-10. Hawks in a bind. Hawks returning with 2 here, Urquhart and Dennis. Floats it over, Dennis, good ball. Tessier, middle to Jones, has to punch it. Hawks get it over, Knuckles. Hames chases it down. Kubik tips left-handed. Urquhart, Tessier on a banjo. Goes through the block and scores. 17-11. Hawks stop the 4-0 run.
Good hard swing by Anna Banjo. She had a nice seam to hit through there too.
Toyosi now back to serve. First time all year. I've kind of wondered, she was asking for trouble with that one. She gets called for 8 seconds.
It's been a while since I've seen that actually called.
She's puzzled by it, but she
gets close.
She presses it all the time. And so Rodriguez back to serve on the service error now, 18-11.
Crowd's kind of talking like, what happened?
Urquhart, bad pass. This is the, that's what you're going to call it, character check. This is kind of what happened in Lincoln, where you want to buckle up here, and Bailey Ortega calls for the sweeper. Good job on her part. You're out of timeouts. Maybe break the rhythm, get your team head
Try
back
to ice
together.
her at least.
Well, and your team needs to get their head on straight here too. So Rodriguez right down the line. Urquhart, Ortega, middle to Jones, gets the kill.
Crossbody by Jones. Her trademark kill there.
Amaya's got 8, 19-12. Urquhart now to serve. Knuckles right at the net. Hames behind her. Off the block, scores. Give that kill to Lonstein. She's now got 5. Nebraska 3:45 for the match. 4:76 here in set 3 as they've looked to close out Iowa. Orr back in to serve. Hinkle, bad pass. Schmidt to Urquhart. Dug by Knuckles. Orr platforms it all the way out to Kubik. Big swing, dug by Ortega. Hinkle behind her to Vanderwide. Rolls it off the tape, misses wide. 21-12.
It's a good cross shot by Vanderwide. Just out though, but it's a good idea just going all the way across court.
Got a little unlucky rolling across the tape there. Just changed the trajectory a little bit. Orr goes at Urquhart. Good tip from Jones. Dug up though. Kubik gets a swing. Great roll from her. She's got a toolbox, a couple different shelves in the toolbox, those pull-out things, and she's got shots galore.
Secret compartments.
Yeah, the secret compartments.
Need an extra key.
You enter a combination, something pops out. Maddie's got 13 now, 22-12. Orr goes at Urquhart. Ortega, Jones. Orr pushes it back to Kubik. Chops it long. No touch called. 22-13. Jacqueline Casper is going to get some action for Delaney McSweeney. Jones catches top of the tape, falls back on the Hawkeye side. 23-13.
second missed serve for her. They really need her strong serves back there. It's just a little bit too low of a toss there.
Kubik, 13 kills, 9 digs. She'll be back to serve. Sails that one long, 23-14. Couple subs coming in for Iowa. Tessier in, she'll serve on a banjo to the front row. All right, let's see if we can string some points together and get that timeout. Tessier, good flat serve. Kubik, good pass. Orr, middle. Alex dug by Tessier. Hinkle, back row from Urquhart. Dug by Orr. Rodriguez behind her. Tipped off the block. Just a smart play there from Batenhorst using the block.
Yeah, not much you can do there as a blocker. She had her hands over, ready to go. Just smart push off the block by the hitter there.
Match point for Nebraska. You get Macy Bosinger in for Nebraska to serve. Freshman getting some action. She comes in for Alec. Runs it forward, fires it over. Hinkle. Good pass to Tessier. Middle to Kaspers. Too high. Dug by Orr. Platform behind. Look out. That'll do it. Batenhorst finishes it off with her 11th kill of the night. And Nebraska completes the sweep. 25-14, 25-17, and 25-14 here in the third. That's just a really good squad.
It is a really good squad. They're very balanced, and with them running that 6-2, they've got a right side hitter up there every rotation, and they really have endless options. And then with Knuckles in the back row, just kind of secret weapon back there as well. They just can go to anyone at any time and know that they're going to get a kill out of it. 13
kills from Kubik. She hit 400. Batenhorst with 11. She hit 286, and then 10 from Krause, and she hit 471. And you got a Lonstein with 5 kills and hit 500. I mean, that's where do you want to go and what type of number do you want to get? Coach Barnes is going to join us here quickly. Got me?
Yeah.
That was a buzzsaw, Coach.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good.
I think the stat that caught me the most is, and we talked about it a little bit in pregame too. You blocked with them. They had 6 blocks. You had 5. Your attack errors were similar. 54 digs for them to 30 for you was a huge number.
Yeah, we did a good job of swinging high, so we didn't get blocked a bunch, but they touch every ball and it turns into almost a free ball for them in the backcourt. They're number 1 in the country in defense for a reason. And, we didn't pass crisp enough to give us an edge so we could put those balls away. Our passing just was not there and not where it needed to be. They're targeting our libero, and we really got to pass well in that situation.
So what, again, I know we've talked about the moral victory thing doesn't really count, but as you look now, you've got Illinois, you've got Michigan, you've got Michigan State.
Right,
so we kind of get back to, they're big asks, but they're winnable matches.
Right,
so how do you kind of get the spirit back up of, okay, Nebraska is unique.
Right.
These matches now, if we do our thing, are winnable.
Yeah, it's leadership. This team, the leaders have got to step up and realize what you just said, that these are games, it's our last 3. They're all, winnable through here, and we've got to go in there with an attitude and with a determination, to go get them. Because if we don't go 100%, we got no shot. So we really got to have some great leadership to get us ready for that game. It turns around on Sunday.
And is that so? Of course, I know Maya. Who else helps kind of lead that charge?
AJ certainly is one of them, but we need different people to lead, like Lily, as one of our setters. She's got to step up and lead, and Toyosi, get in there and leading. Addie, who's been here as a veteran, her voice needs to step up, and again, just sharpen everybody to get ready for these games that we can win. We got to be ready for Sunday.
Speaking of Toy, how many times have you had the 8-second call in your coaching career?
I can't remember the last time that happened, and I always wondered when it would happen with Toy because she always goes over it. And I didn't realize they gave us a warning. They had told her.
Oh.
So she had a warning because I started yelling, why didn't we get a warning on it? But evidently they did tell her.
She had gotten one.
And she still went over it.
What is it? So you guys basically get on a bus tomorrow and head over to Champaign?
We do. We head over tomorrow. We've got that match Sunday, and then our last two, our last home match here on Wednesday, and then our last match at Michigan State.
How does that work with Thanksgiving week? Just kind of one of the things of playing a fall sport, or we try to do something for Thanksgiving for the team?
Yeah, we got them going over to Brian's house, and so we'll be having Thanksgiving together as a team because, again, we're playing and then we're hitting the road right after Thanksgiving to get back. So.
Not the friendliest schedule there, but I know you want to get to the locker room, so I'll let you go, Coach.
Thank you, John.
Thanks for your time. Coach Jim Barnes. Again, 3 more matches for the Hawks. So I'll tell you, you may have heard him. They did warn Toyosi one time before they gave her the 8-second call. So
okay.
she'd had a heads up that she was pressing her limit.
Sure.
So he talked a little bit about, now that you've got Illinois, Michigan, and Michigan State, you have 3 potentially winnable matches.
Very winnable.
Again, every match in the Big Ten's hard, but winnable matches, and talked about the veteran leadership. What type of leadership, or what do you see? You're in the locker room and you're trying to break the cycle because you were part of a team that started to break that cycle and kind of push Iowa to a different spot.
Yep.
What do you say in the locker room?
I think obviously you come out and you play a team like Nebraska, really tough match, super balanced team. I mean, they're going to go on, and if they're not in the championship, I'm going to be really surprised. Tough match to get, but I think with those last 3 matches, they are very beatable matches, and I think you have to just have a mindset of going out on the season with a high note, no matter what that means to the team. But I think that means, snagging 1, 2, maybe even 3 of those wins for those seniors and everybody that's taken their last year. And just trying to stay positive the best you can. Obviously, the Big Ten is tough, but, the tournament's probably not on the agenda for the Hawks. And so you just have to, like I said, take it one match at a time. If that means getting 1 or 2 of those matches as a win, I think that's the best way to go out.
And just go out with at least putting your best foot forward.
Yeah.
Kind of that character thing of let's be the best we can be, whatever that amounts to.
Whatever that amounts to. Yep. It gets to be a long season, and in the Big Ten, when you're not winning, it's just it's tough every night, no matter what. But I think they have a good last 3 matches, and they can get 3 wins if they want to. I think they really can get it.
And I think people don't understand that too. The Iowa players put in the same amount of time that the Nebraska players do, and so there's the mental grind of the physical activity of it. But then, okay, hey, we're not having anybody tell us how great we are. We're kind of having to work our way through that. You really have to kind of stick together as a squad.
You do, yep, and really do it for your seniors too, because they have put in so much work over the years to get to this point. And if the best you can do is get 3 wins at the end of the season, then do it for them.
Nebraska completes the sweep. Iowa on the road Sunday. We'll be back on Wednesday here. I have yet to confirm that I've talked Reagan Coyle into coming back, but I'm going to work hard at it, as Iowa will finish the home slate against Michigan at 6 o'clock Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. So as you're prepping your Thanksgiving dinner, you can have us on the radio, and
I will be here.
Perfect. We'll have you won't just get stuck listening to me for the finale. So we'll have one more. Thanks for tuning in. I'm John Evans along with Reagan Coyle. Nebraska gets the sweep tonight over the Hawkeyes. Thanks for listening. Have a good night.